Hey guys, it's been a long time since I've last spoken here, and life over the last 9 months has changed for me again and again and again. And it's been quite a lot for me, but keeping that to myself isn't really helping anyone who may be going through the same, so let's talk about it. I started 2024 by getting engaged, and then 2 months later, I moved into a new apartment. And then the same month, I got a new puppy, which is when I last spoke to you all, and that's when everything changed. So the next month, I actually quit the job that had me so stressed, yay, and I also rekindled a relationship with someone I loved, and things were looking up. Although, soon enough, I saw more family drama unfold, and I ended up losing a different relationship that was very close to me, and at the same time, I realized that this new job was just as bad as any other pharmacy job. And every day, I felt uncomfortable in my new apartment. I felt suffocated by the lack of space, so we moved again into a new apartment that fit our needs better, which came with a higher rent, of course. And shortly after, I had this feeling that I just could not shake, like something bad was happening soon, and I felt like the bad thing was coming right before my birthday. And while my birthday came and went, 4 days later, it happened. My job told us that they had lost a bunch of customers and therefore money, and they were laying people off. And since I was the newest one hired, that included me. I knew the layoff from the new job wasn't my fault, but it was just bad timing. Losing the job would mean me losing my insurance, and since I just turned 26 4 days earlier, I no longer had my parents' insurance. And considering I have type 1 diabetes and I need insulin, this was a problem. Mentally, I realized that once again, I was in a bad place. I had started getting off the medication before, as this job didn't really have any direct patient contact, which lessened my need for it, but now what? How are we going to pay rent? How are we going to pay for the wedding? How are we going to pay for food without sacrificing our health? And I felt responsible for everything falling apart. I hate the excuses for why God allows suffering in order for us to grow. Like, this looks bad, but deep down it's actually a good thing. And I was tired of trying so hard to convince myself the opposite of what I was seeing and feeling. We are told that we can't always trust our emotions, that we're supposed to have faith, believing in things unseen. But that doesn't mean pretending that what is seen, the emotions and experiences you truly do feel, are actively going through, do not exist. I just knew it was more than everything happens for a reason. And knowing my suffering was part of God's will for me did not bring me comfort. It gave me confusion. I've had conversations with friends who say gratitude is understanding, it's not as bad as it could be, or it could always be worse, or it's better than XYZ. Okay, but what if XYZ happens? Do I have a right to not be grateful then? I could say, well, yeah, I have diabetes and that sucks, but at least it's controlled and I don't have organ damage. But what if I get that in the future? Can I not be grateful then? What about the people my age who have that now? Do they have the right to not feel grateful? No. Then why say that in the first place? That way of thinking, I learned, doesn't serve me. It doesn't make me feel better to know that it can still get worse, or that other people are living that reality even though I'm not currently. It didn't give me perspective. It gave me anger. And I realized something in all that anger. Gratitude for me isn't being happy about things not being worse. It's doing what I can do despite what I can't do. It was not attributing good or bad, moral and immoral values to anything happening to me, but to put my gratitude into action, doing what could be done to realign things to how I preferred them. Gratitude in practice was me being grateful to be able to control what I could on a microscopic level, and being content with what I couldn't control on a macroscopic level. I don't think I'm seeing trials as good things anymore, as instruments God uses to help me grow. Trials may have nothing to do with me. Maybe they're for someone else, or maybe it's just because the world is made in a way I can't understand. The problem of evil is definitely still an issue for me, but I'm working on letting go of my frustration with that by no longer feeling connected to thanking God for my trials, but instead being grateful for freedom from depending on good or bad outcomes of my life. For anyone interested in that idea, a lot of it is rooted in Stoicism, which I'm still becoming familiar with myself, but I think it's helped me feel a healthier relationship with my God. I realized that for me, nothing bad was happening. It wasn't bad timing. I wasn't in a bad place. Something I did not prefer was happening. The timing was an obstacle for other financial investments I had already started, and I didn't have to mentally be in that place anymore. I could do what I could to make this more preferable. I could get back on the medication, apply to jobs, get married earlier to get on my fiance's insurance, pause my student loans, budget the money we had right now, and receive emotional support from my community instead of isolating. There was a lot I could do, and for that, I am grateful. All the things I saw as good or bad before, I kind of now saw as neither. It might not be what you wanted, but most of our lives aren't. And that doesn't make them bad lives. You have a life to live, and you can live it abundantly if you choose to do so. I have more control than I thought. I was not powerless, not at the mercy of whatever life threw at me. I am grateful for what I can do physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, monetarily, and medicinally. God can guide me, but I have to be willing to move. I have to be willing to believe that I can change my life, and for that, I am grateful. No matter the outcomes, life will go on. So take control of the wheel, little bears.